to Radio Friends on Friday, August the 24th. And I've got Vera Nichols with us today. We're going to talk about eating local, right? Eat from the garden, What's left of the garden after this hard summer? Good to have you here, Vera.
Good to be here.
Yeah, University of Missouri Extension.
Yes.
So, seasonal and simple, is that what you're saying?
Yes. You know, I had an opportunity this summer to go study the Mediterranean diet. Mm-hmm. And they eat a lot of seasonal and simple there. Yeah. And we can learn a lot from other cultures.
The Mediterranean diet is really a healthful diet. Don't people live longer on the Mediterranean diet? Like they eat vegetables, they drink some wine,
yes,
and have cheese.
Yes.
All the stuff that's good for you.
Well, and you know, really, the word diet is more than just food. It comes from the Greek word dieta, which means a way of life, a way of living.
I didn't know that.
Yes. So as we visited with people in Italy, they say the Italian diet is not just the food you eat, as you were mentioning. It's how you live your life. Mm-hmm. It's taking time to prepare the food, mm-hmm, to enjoy the food, to share the food, right, to be with family, exactly, to be with friends.
But when you sit down to a meal in Italy, now my family is from Italy, mm-hmm, and when I would go back and forth and visit with them, you don't just sit down and eat fast and get up and go. Having a meal is an event.
And it happens day after day
It does. It's an event. Yes. And you sit down and you talk together and you yell together.
Yes, but that is what, when we look at comparing different cultures, in Italy, even though it's changing, as they're seeing many changes that aren't necessarily the good, but when we think of Italy, it's slow eating. We think of our culture fast. Right. We think of Italy small portions. Here, large. Right. We think of simple and fresh in an Italy, and we think of more processed, mm-hmm, here. You know,
I remember when I would be staying with my aunt, you go to the market every day.
Yes.
You go to the market every day and you buy your fruits and vegetables and your meat, mm-hmm, and your cheese, mm-hmm, every day. You don't stock up and then...
No, because that's how it stays fresh. Mm-hmm. And what you also find in other cultures is you don't pick through the food. They pick it for you. And when you think about how we go to the market, we're touching and, mm-hmm, actually sort of disturbing some of that food for someone else. Mm-hmm. And so they choose the best for you, and you have that trust, because shopping is a relationship when you go about purchasing food. Yeah. It's all about relationships, and that's what we're finding growing here in our part of the world, mm-hmm, is reestablishing that connection with food, knowing who's producing that food, understanding how they produce it. And that's a very positive thing that we're seeing in our culture here.
Yeah, and it's so wonderful when you can eat food that you have produced in your own garden or your neighbor's garden, or you go to the local farmer's market, yes, and purchase fruit and vegetable there.
And so when we start opening these doors to more local fresh foods, many times people who have not been eating that way don't know what to do with some of this food. They see it and it looks different than what might come in a can that's more highly processed. So one of the great resources we have at the University of Missouri Extension is talking about seasonal and simple foods, helping people know what do you look for when you select different vegetables and fruits. How do you store it? How are easy ways to prepare it? For you and I, that may seem like, you don't have to tell me that, but for many people, that's not the case. Mm-hmm. So we actually started out a few years ago with a book called Seasonal and Simple, and it's more of sort of a little cookbook form. Mm-hmm. Great pictures, very simple recipes.
Now, is this available from Extension?
This is available through University Extension. So that's been out there for a while. What we just released in the last month is an application for smartphones. So you can download the Seasonal and Simple, which gives you buying tips on fruits and vegetables, storage tips, all the farmers markets listed in the state of Missouri. So if you're traveling, when I travel, I like to stop in and purchase local foods. So if the farmers market is going on in St. Joseph and I'm passing through, I can find out, is it open today?
So you've got an app. So let me get this straight. You're going from the old and the simple of eating simple to the electronic age of apps to where to buy it.
But you know, the reality is, I like the feel of a book.
Yeah.
I like to sit and read it.
So do I.
But we also have to remember that we do have to adjust with how people are living. I would still recommend don't spend enormous amounts of time, and don't do this while you're driving a car.
Right, okay, but tell me about the app.
Well, you can actually just go in, if you have a smartphone, to the apps, if it's an iPhone or an iPad or the Android market, and just type in Seasonal and Simple, and it's a free application.
And it comes from Extension?
Yes.
University Extension?
Yes, we're getting into that technology world. And what's really nice is for people who want to get information this way, we're trying to reach out. Some of us still like to have the book, but this is kind of a nice app, is if you're shopping at the market and you find something that you're interested in, you can find a great easy recipe to use it.
Really?
When you go to the grocery store, if it's, you know, some of our markets here close to a grocery store, you can get those ingredients to prepare that dish. So it has advantages of helping you with shopping and preparation.
Do you have any classes coming up?
I tell you what, in October I'll be doing the Taking Care of You class, and I think I'll be back next month and want to talk about some more new research on taking care of ourselves. So we're talking about
taking care of ourselves for the class in October. Body, mind,
spirit, yes.
Yeah,
and I'll tell you what, when you promote it, they call.
Right, last time, didn't you tell me you had to pull off the side of the road or something?
People were pulling off. So that's a great thing, Paul. We are reaching out.
I'm glad to hear that.
That's right.
Vera Nichols, if people want more information, what can they do?
Well, I tell you what, if you have internet access, type in extension.missouri.edu, and that takes you to all of our resources through University of Missouri Extension.
Okay, or they could call your office, right?
Yes.
What's your phone number? You've got a bank of operators.
573-445-9792.
445-9792. And there are a bank of 20 or 30 operators that are standing by right now to take your calls.
Yes. So
any information about that?
If you didn't catch how to get the Seasonal and Simple, we'll tell you about it.
Okay. All right. Thank you so much for coming by. Pleasure having you here.
Thank you.
Monday, our friend Debbie Sorrell is back. We're going to talk about fire safety and MU healthcare. Our program directed by Travis McMillan of the Reynolds Journalism Institute. Audio is Pat Akers from KBIA. Our floor director is Danny Madison, and our assistant producer and guest coordinator, Uncle James Mauser. And if there's something that you would like to hear or see, drop me an email. I'd love to hear from you. pepperp@missouri.edu. And you can watch this program or listen to it again, kbia.org. Bye-bye.